The quote that I'm about to use, I'm assuming Bono would have said to me. And he was saying, great musicians are always either running towards God or running from God. And, you know, I'm not a great musician, but I felt like that applied to me. I'm in Act 2 of what is the transition of my life, and it's gone through several cycles. It's gone, Act 1 has been a while because I'm a pastor's kid, and so I've grown up in the church. I worked at Blue Lake. I was a camp counselor, and then I spent a lot of time down south with my dad and seeing behind the curtain on churches, and that really just turned me off to church, to where I had a problem with the institution more than I had a problem with God. And slowly that problem with the institution developed into me just isolating myself and evolving into a problem with God. Now, I had no right to have a problem with God, but that's just how it evolved. I'm 17, 18, 19, angry with how the church treated my family, and church and God, the way that it came together, the resentment spread to just all of that. And I finally just hit rock bottom with everything. Like, I don't know how else, like, it really was just me, and to where I finally woke up one day and was like, this is not how it was drawn up. This is not how any of my plans went. All of my plans have just failed. I have just nothing has gone the way I thought it was. And then that's when I decided to maybe my problem with God wasn't legitimate, and it was just one of those things where I woke up one day and I was like, well, maybe I should reassess some of the decisions that I've made. Maybe I should reassess my view, because God's view never changed. I've changed locations, I've changed a lot of stuff, and the problem still lasted. I cut everybody else out of the picture and the problem was still there. So that meant the problem was me. So I had to go from there. And so once I figured that out, I guess that's where the tipping point from running away from God went to running towards God. I started actively praying. I was completely skeptical, but in that isolation I had stopped praying. Like, I wasn't even talking to God. And so I felt like just starting, regardless of what I thought was going to happen, regardless of what I thought the results of that prayer was going to be, regardless of what I thought my impact of that prayer was going to be, I made a point to try and start praying. And even in my prayers, I would say, I don't know what impact this is going to have, but it just became a dialogue, to where, I would be driving in my car, I would be laying in bed, I would just try and force a dialogue, to where hoping somewhere along the line I could find direction, and I could find that moment to where I can find the direction that I'm supposed to be going. And I'm still looking for it, but I'm not skeptical anymore, and I'm more open, and I'm making a point to put myself out there, because I was the one that withdrew. So it was no longer just, I wasn't waiting for God to be like, come on, Zane. I have to be the one to make the point to reach out to Him.